What's up, Spider-Man? So, they say with great power comes great responsibility. And so you want to do something in this world, right? Something impactful, something powerful, something meaningful, right? Man, me too, right? And I came into everything. I got really obsessed with Peter Diamandis when I was younger. And I think he's a really cool example because he has this message that's make $1 billion helping 1 billion people. That's an amazing message. I think it's a beautiful idea. And you can see there's lots of people that really want to come into this world and live their higher purpose at scale, right? And make a big positive impact. Now, the problem is that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Now, I'm not trying to equate anybody to anybody. Personally, I found Peter Diamandis very inspiring. And if you look at the history of human behavior, the desire to do good in the world is driving most of the great people in history. Now, it's important now to note this and go, okay, who are the great people in history? Let's think. Let's go back to Julius Caesar. Sure, he thought he was doing some good stuff. Octavian. What did that lead to? That led to butchering Gauls. Sure, he felt like he's doing everything for the glory of Rome. And again, I think Peter's doing a lot of good things, okay? So let's not conflate these people. But I'm taking my own spark of inspiration that originally I got from Peter. However, I found a challenge in that you look through history and you go, what people, if you run on what culturally you think is a good thing, this is a good thing. Culturally, this is a good thing. Unfortunately, you have no true compass. There's no actual compass showing you what you really need to do. And that is a huge problem. And that's what leads to any kind of really unfortunate conflict. William the Conqueror, 1066. This is so good. I have this divine right of kings in the medieval ages. And again, there is a giant spectrum of this, right? But the point that I'm getting to is that if the idea of good comes from the mind, from the ego, from something along these lines, then unfortunately, this power that you are trying to wield for a higher purpose can easily be corrupted. And the question is, what's the antidote to this? Like power. There is this corrupting factor of me and the other, and us and them. And my life's work is the correct wielding of power. That's my life's work. That's what I'm here to do and figure out how to do. And I'm still on that journey. Although what I'll say is that the sign that I'm misusing my power is that if the mind is justifying things, if the emotions are firing, if I feel wronged, if I feel frustrated, if I feel activated in any way, if the emotional system, the mental system, the egoic system, you can see it in awareness, right? If you train yourself through meditation to see and feel what's happening for you, and then you learn to find that little voice within you, you could say, whatever higher power you ascribe to, there's a little voice. And if you can really forgive those thoughts, those feelings, emotions, if you can see when that demon is saying, fuck this person, when that little part inside you, you listen, there's emotions inside you, they're saying, fuck this person. They're saying, this person wants to steal from me. This person wants to screw me over. This person has betrayed me. This person is, I'm not enough. Whatever's driving it, right? If it's anything but, if I'm being driven by this, it's the opportunity to meet that before I make the decision. If you are Isiliador with the ring, right? You've got that ring at the edge of at the edge of Mordor. You have the ring, and you're over the volcano. It's like, have you done the work? Have you paused before you make that decision? Because you can have every situation of power almost always inevitably has that, but fuck this person, but fuck this thing, but fuck whatever. I could just do this instead. There's something there almost always. Opportunity to gain at the expense of another, opportunity, any of this stuff. And yeah, it's crazy. And what we can do is pause before making that decision and get clarity and remove those triggers and remove those fears. And it doesn't mean bypassing, right? We don't bypass. We have to really deal with what's in front of us. You may be Arjuna on the field of battle, and you may actually have to fight despite having done everything. Arjuna is a hero in the Bhagavad Gita, and he was faced with a battle. He did everything that he could to avoid the battle on the way up, but there was a moment that he did have to fight, and he did. It seemed in the Bhagavad Gita that he got clarity. He got clarity. And he did have to fight. And there's no sense that you won't have to fight. And there's no sense that you won't have to get in an ugly situation. And there's no sense that's necessarily the case. But what we can do is take the knowledge and the knowing. If you're listening to this and you're a conscious business person, let's say, or something like that, the knowledge and the knowing that we have of the oneness of everything and the you-ness of this person and the unity of the truth of you two, and the reality that this is just a mirror and this is serving me. Being like, all right, this is just a mirror and this is serving me. And from there, you can bring that knowledge and that acknowledgement, calm the systems, and see what really comes through you when you're connected into the present moment. And that's going to be much closer to the will of God. And you won't find yourself being a conquistador. And who knows what Cortez was doing, but he didn't seem like the nicest guy. They say, hey, we're going to go do God's will. We're going to go do God's will. We're going to go do God's will. It's like, okay, what did that lead to? Who knows, man? I can't really sit and judge the actions of another. The Aztecs murdering a lot of people, but Cortez was murdering a lot of people too. It looked like just a lot of barbarism to me. And that doesn't mean that there's not the need for divine action. Maybe the Aztecs needed to be stopped. Maybe they needed to stop cutting people's hearts out. When Cortez got there, all the local Aztecs around him, the local tribes from Mexico at the time, they all joined his side because the Aztecs were so brutal. That's really how Cortez won. It was perception plus having a lot of allies locally and leverage. And what he did was and this is the situation we find ourselves in, is it's like he found that point of leverage. And I'm not saying he was doing God's will, but I'm saying that if we're put in that situation, if we can forgive the world, we can then have the world act through us. What I mean by that is the world is you. And you really are this unfolding in the present moment of what's meant to unfold through you, if you can allow that to be. And I think that the only real way that true higher purpose can express through you, the only way that you can actually live and be what you're really meant to be, is if you are connected to the moment and having that spontaneous arisal coming through you, because that is actually when God is really expressing. And otherwise, it's just humanness. And it's okay if you just want to be human. That's okay. And because there's many moments that you will be, and that we will be, that I will be. And we can also aspire as much as we can to have divinity act through us and to give our lives to divinity. And that can be done through pausing and realizing, hey, I have a lot of power in this moment. I'm committed to using it wisely. I'm going to let go. And I'm going to really bring love into this situation, whichever way that it is. And I'm going to, and anything, any need to manipulate or change or confuse or break or any of that, any need for this to be different, and just get your little fingers into it. And I know about those fingers, man. Just let them go. And then move forward. powerful, divine warrior you are. Sending you lots of love. Thank you for listening to my monologue. Whichever hero you are, you're Spider-Man, you're Wonder Woman, doesn't matter. With great power comes great responsibility.